You do this in all areas of life. You wait for perfect times to do something and you wonder why you're in this position. I can speak from experience. I invested pretty much everything I had in this has to work now. So you can't say, oh, it's all right for you because you're successful. I was from a council estate. You can't run that by me. I know what it's like to be in your shoes. I know what it's like to be poor. I know what it's like to have nothing. I know what it's like and to not have the guidance that I needed. I had a very, very tough upbringing. I'm sure many of you have as well. Maybe some of them much tougher than mine. What I'm saying is, right, we're rolling.
Yeah, we're rolling, bro.
So I want to talk to you guys about the new strategy update. Friday the 30th of August. We're very excited for it. I thought I'd take this opportunity to just talk to you very raw, let you know what's been happening, how I even done this in the first place. Even to this day, when I'm looking at it thinking, I can't believe this was right under my nose after all this time. I took a year out of my instinct of working on something because you have to imagine, I have a responsibility. If I'm gonna announce anything, I don't care if it's a very small detail, I can't do it. Even my own integrity, I cannot do it unless I know it's robust, I've tested it, it's easy to understand, it doesn't compromise any risk. I need to know every single variable. Is it worth doing? You have to remember, not every single strategy can be improved, doesn't always have the ability to do that. Most people don't even know where to start to improve a strategy. It's not always worth it. Like if you're gonna increase your strike rate from, I don't know, 65% to 68%, is it really worth going through all of this risk and tiny variables just to increase a strike rate by a few percent? It's not worth it. But when there is a night and day difference of, wow, this massively increases win rate, then you start to look into it. So let me just tell you candidly what I think are the main benefits for those of you that are asking questions or might even have some thoughts in your mind as to is something changing. Really simply, I would say the main benefits are increased win rate massively, right? When you understand this, and it's all black and white, all the content's there. For those of you, by the way, that are thinking about joining to get access to this will be included in the membership at this point. I can't tell you whether it will be included after. So if you're someone who's been sitting on the fence and you want to be involved, I would, for your own benefit from a cost-effective point of view, get in as soon as possible. If you wait till after, then risk is all yours. But let me explain a few things. I've worked very, very, very hard on this. I'm very proud of this. This is essentially my 16 years of experience to be able to, you know how difficult it is to take all of my experience, test something and go, right, I'm going to create this into a video series, if you like, in a way that everybody can understand and they can implement. That's so difficult. Just because you're good at trading doesn't mean you're good at trading and also good at knowledge transferring that across. And that's taken me years to get to this stage. And I've improved every single year. I've got better at communicating this. I didn't start off thinking I want to teach trading. That was actually the least of my focuses. So this happened naturally for me. However, increased win rate, phenomenal. Like once you know the key detail to look out for, of course I'm not going to go into the strategy now, but when you know the key steps to take, and it's very mechanical in the thought process, when this happens, do this. But there are some advanced parts to it. So this is really H4 mastery. So this is the first time we're introducing the concept. This H4 mastery is an absolute game changer when it comes to precision. So if you think about it from an increased win rate, you ask yourself, is that important to you? For some of you, maybe you don't care, but for me, I massively care about that. And it's not because I obsess over having this like super high strike rate, but it's about having, if I can increase my strike rate and it's significant and doesn't compromise any risk, doesn't create more drawdown, actually decreases drawdown, then guess what, I'm gonna implement it. So it does that, increases win rate, and of course is giving you that ability of precision. So see it like this, most people don't want to do what? They don't want to swing trade because they think that their risk reward is compromised. I understand how you feel from that regard. I've been there as well, because let's say you're waiting for a traditional swing style method where the daily closes and you've got 150 pip candle. You're probably not going to take that on a swing model because it has to travel a long way just for you to make 2 to 3%. And if you're someone who's going through funding and things like that, you're naturally not going to have as much patience because a lot has to happen just to make 2 or 3%. So I get why, but anyone in their right mind would look at the accuracy of anything that has a swing element to it, because the accuracy is the accuracy. And if you've done more of a swing style with our strategy, it's absolutely phenomenal. You can test it. I don't care if you go back to 1982, 1984, you can test it and it is going to come out on top because it's so accurate. That is undisputed. You cannot argue with the data. However, taking advantage of that and still having nice precision, that's a bit more intricate, and this is what that solves. So it almost gives you the accuracy of the higher time frame from a swing style accuracy, but it's giving you lower time frame positioning. So it's just going to add value to what we're already doing. So current strategy, you trade the strategy. This is going to just complement what you're already doing. You're not doing anything different when it comes to things like AFT. I'm still trading AFT. I am still trading exactly how I'm trading. I'm just adding this in, which goes to my second point or next point, which is increased frequency. So through those kind of choppier periods, if you like, where maybe you don't take as many trades, just by adding this H4 mastery, it's going to give you that ability for more entries. And again, really high accuracy. So of course, that is a blessing. What if I was to tell you, you can get the precision of almost a scalper's stop loss, but you've got higher time frame accuracy. Would that be of interest to you? Well, I would suggest that should be of interest to absolutely any trader on the planet, because that is almost impossible to do, and we've done it. And you'll see that for yourself. And the reason why I know that to be true, because I've already tested it on students, not just myself. So of course, it's different if myself, Abdu, Ibi, the coaches, we're saying it. It's very different when you've got our students, because I've been drip feeding some of this already for the past 6 weeks. And I just wanted to see, for the traders that could kind of jump onto the clues, how they could start to implement it, and they're already doing it. And recently, we've seen a boatload of success. It's not a coincidence, and the strategy isn't even out yet. So on Friday, the 30th of August, when the students start going through it, it's all methodical, they know what they're doing, they're going to be in for an absolute treat. Then it comes to the AFT side of things. What I love about this the most is that you have the content that is going to give you the core, the base, the consistency, the building blocks, your ability to scale up on funding as well. I've actually included some bonus videos for drawdown. So I have one video dedicated to drawdown recovery. Even this H4 mastery in the most simplest way, as a side effect, you implement this, it's almost impossible quarter by quarter that you don't progress. Most traders don't know how to recover from drawdown. That's the reality. So what I've put together is a very simple, effective plan, and this is drawdown recovery. If you cannot deal with drawdown, it'll be difficult for you to make money. And a lot of traders are very capable, but because they didn't have a mathematical plan, a formula, they derailed, went on tilt, lost their capital. If you're someone who aspires to trade 7 figures, you're someone who aspires to even just trade high 6 figures, making sure that you know how to deal with drawdown is absolutely essential. So I've created a phenomenal plan for you guys. Make a copy of this. This is going to be your staple to focus on. So I'm going to walk through this recovery plan, because what it's going to do is going to help you get out of drawdown by side effect. When you start adding into the mix these specific entry types, it is virtually impossible. If you're someone who's going through funding and you want to scale up that capital, you will get there so much quicker by adding in this H4 mastery, without a shadow of a doubt, and you'll see it. I will let the success tutor talk in, so whether you want to get involved or not, that's entirely up to you. I'm addressing all of the questions just in the most rawest way that I can actually remember, in hope that it gives you clarity. There's a reason why we've been able to acquire so much capital allocation on our in-house fund with what we've already got. We're moving towards our 8th year. Part of your job as a trader is to assess, do you want to be a lone wolf and think you're going to go there by yourself? Listen, maybe there's a 0.01% person that can do that, but most people go better with a team. You need savages that you can lean on that are going to be able to help you. And if you don't have that support, you're rolling the dice. I promise you, I've been in this game for 16 years. Very few people make it on their own. You do realize every single time I've improved the Falcon system, I've never sat down and gone, I want to improve the system. Because most people sitting there trying to improve their strategy, they improve it because it's garbage and they don't know what they're doing in the first place. I'm only making adjustments and refinements as a side effect of something that is already great. That is a complete big difference. So I'm very, very pleased that my procedures or my processes have allowed me to implement something that's such a game changer. I firmly believe this is going to be a staple. We'll look back in years to come and realize this adjustment, this new strategy update, this is going to be one of the biggest impacts that we have ever seen. What are you waiting for? Like, the market's not going to wait for you. And you don't know when the markets are going to be trending, when they're choppy, when they're indecisive. So right now, when you can see that the markets are actually doing very well and they're very explosive, you can't afford to go, I'll just do it at my own leisure, I'll do it at my own pace. That's the reason why you're in this position in the first place. All the time that you keep thinking about it, there's other people that have less money than you, right? More reasons to not do something, but they understand that, right, if they want to be successful and they want to live a life that the average person doesn't live, well, then they have to do things that are a bit uncomfortable. You do this in all areas of life. You wait for perfect times to do something and you wonder why you're in this position. I can speak from experience. I invested pretty much everything I had in this has to work now. So you can't say, oh, it's all right for you because you're successful. I was from a council estate. You can't run that by me. I know what it's like to be in your shoes. I know what it's like to be poor. I know what it's like to have nothing. I know what it's like and to not have the guidance that I needed. I had a very, very tough upbringing. I'm sure many of you have as well. Maybe some of them much tougher than mine. What I'm saying is, if you value time and you value your years and you want to get ahead much quicker, then there has to be a point when you go, I need to invest into myself, because it's not a nice to have, it's a necessity if I want to get there. Or you can roll the dice in hope that maybe you figure it out, and maybe some of you do. So again, if you resonate with that message and you want to be ready ahead of Friday the 30th of August, I highly recommend you get involved. This is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Can't wait for it.